Hi everyone, welcome back. Today's topic is going to be about different strategies in your daily life that you can implement to keep your brain active and healthy, and especially primed to engage in deep learning activities. A curious mind is associated with creativity, innovation, critical thinking, and problem solving. So all of these characteristics are vital, especially in the era of AI. There is one particular area in the brain, the so-called hippocampus, that if you keep this area active and healthy, it will help you to be able to be a lifelong learner. I want to show you different exercises and strategies that you can practically implement in your daily life, which will keep your hippocampus active and healthy. Before I start talking about what actually happens in our brain when we want to revitalize our hippocampus, let me express a little warning. If you're not so passionate and interested in the neuroscience behind all that, just jump to the next session where you can directly dive into what strategies you can implement in your daily life to keep your hippocampus healthy. But if you're as curious as I am on what's actually going on in the hippocampus and you want to have a little bit of a background, and I try to bring it across very intuitive, then just bear with me for a few minutes and let's dive into what's going on in the hippocampus together. So let's talk about the hippocampus, the area responsible for deep learning in our brain. And let's talk about a process that we can target and activate within the hippocampus that will help us keep the hippocampus revitalized throughout our adult life. The process I would love to talk to you about is called neurogenesis. This process happens especially in the hippocampus. Neurogenesis is basically about our brain's ability to create new neurons. So what is a neuron? First of all, a neuron is a fundamental unit of the brain and the nervous system. Neurons are responsible for receiving, processing, and transmitting information via electrical and chemical signals. There is a process within our brain which is called neurogenesis. It's about this ability that we can generate new neurons throughout our adult life, especially in the hippocampus. This is a process we can try to activate and target such that the hippocampus will help us foster deep learning engagements and capabilities. This process, neurogenesis, it has a few steps that are pretty fascinating. The first step is called proliferation. Neural stem cells in the hippocampus divide and they proliferate to produce new cells. It's like a tree growing new branches, which is the very beginning of neurogenesis, of new neuron formation. The second step, the so-called differentiation step, happens. These new cells that grew like branches out of this tree differentiate and they take various types of neurons and neuronal functions. It's like those branches, they develop leaves, flowers, or fruits. Each neuron serves a unique function in the tree's overall health and growth, which is pretty fascinating, basically. Neural stem cells produce new cells, and these new cells can take various forms and differentiate into very specific functional neurons, each serving a specific purpose. The last step is about survival and integration. Not all the new neurons survive. Many undergo programmed cell death. And those that do survive, they integrate into the existing neural network. They form new synapses and become functional neurons. It's like the branches that survive the elements, they grow stronger and they intertwine with other branches to form a robust network. So this, I would say, is in a nutshell, neurogenesis is this innate ability of the brain to regenerate, revitalize, and create new neural structures that replace older neural structures. Within that whole process, within neurogenesis, there is a key component, so-called superstar. This key component is called the brain-derived neurotrophic factor, or BDNF. BDNF is like the miracle grow for your brain. It's a molecule that helps new neurons form and survive. It assists the neurogenesis process. So here now comes the catch why I want to talk to you about all this. There are different types of exercises you can actually do, and they will help enhance that process. Physical activity like aerobic exercises, such as jogging or swimming, they significantly boost BDNF levels, which keeps your brain healthy and sharp. So there is one paper by Leon and Nusslock in 2018, and they provide an insightful review how exercise-induced neurogenesis in the hippocampus is supported by BDNF. Exercise not only stimulates the production of BDNF levels, but it also promotes the growth and survival of new neurons within the hippocampus. And there's a pretty interesting and cool linkage between exercise, BDNF level, and what it does to the hippocampus. Because since exercise promotes an increase in the level of BDNF molecules in our brain, then BDNF molecules facilitate so-called synaptic plasticity. This is a critical mechanism for effective neural communication. What does it mean? So synaptic plasticity is the ability of our brain to strengthen or weaken synapses over time. And a synapse is like a tiny gap between two nerve cells, how they can talk to each other. And since exercise supports BDNF levels and BDNF levels strengthens the synaptic plasticity, this promotes overall health within the hippocampus. Aerobic exercises like swimming and jogging are particularly effective in promoting hippocampal plasticity. Regular participation in these activities enhances neurogenesis. It elevates BDNF levels and also improves vascular health. All of these factors contribute to the growth and maintenance of the hippocampus. There is one study by Erickson and others in 2011. They did a study after 1 year of observing their patients that a 1 year moderate intensity walking actually resulted in a significant increase in hippocampal volume in older adults. This came along with improvements in spatial memory. After 1 year of consistent and continued walking exercises, they showed that the area of the brain, hippocampus, significantly grew in older adults. Moderate exercise that not only boosts hippocampal volume, but it also enhances the survival of new neurons. So research by Nicomachean and others in 2018, they show that moderate exercise, it also increases the survival rate of newly formed neurons in the hippocampus. You can summarize aerobic exercises like swimming and jogging, even at a moderate pace. They have significant neuroprotective benefits by fostering hippocampal plasticity. They support the growth of new neurons and synapses, and this enhances the overall brain health. Regular aerobic exercise is like a powerful tool to optimize brain health. It promotes neurogenesis and supports synaptic plasticity. Now we switch gear a little bit, and there's literature on another type of exercise that has a significant effect on hippocampal plasticity. Researchers, they wrote a paper called Hippocampal Plasticity Underpins Long-Term Cognitive Gains from Resistance Exercise. And the researchers, they present evidence on gym training and the effect of gym training on cognitive benefits. The authors, they show that high-intensity progressive resistance training leads to significant cognitive benefits. They monitored individuals over 18 months who engaged in resistance training. They observed that this training improves global cognition and executive functioning. The benefits of gym training extend well beyond general levels of fitness. There is a significant link between physical resistance training and long-term hippocampal plasticity. They demonstrated that these neuroprotective effects of this exercise regimen, it's sustained well beyond the cessation of the program. Resistance training has a crucial role in delaying the progression of cognitive decline. The research, it underscores a direct link between resistance exercise and long-term hippocampal plasticity. There is a third strand in the literature summarized in a systematic review published in Brain Plasticity. The researchers, they looked at current findings on how yoga affects brain health. They found out and they synthesized all the findings that yoga isn't just about flexibility or peace of mind, that it seems to be that yoga is a powerful tool to enhance brain function and structure. The review actually looked at 11 studies with advanced brain imaging techniques, and they assessed the impact of yoga on the brain. And the findings were compelling. Consistently, yoga practice is linked to positive changes in critical brain regions, including the hippocampus and also the amygdala, prefrontal cortex, and the cingulate cortex. One of the standout findings from that review was the effect of yoga on the hippocampus. Yoga practitioners, they showed increased gray matter volume in this region, which again, as we know, is crucial for learning and memory. So there is a correlation between practicing yoga and increase in hippocampal volume. This I found pretty interesting, that on the one hand, moderate walking, jogging, swimming, aerobic exercise, but also on the other hand, yoga, both of these exercises, they have this association with an increase in hippocampal volume. You could say yoga is pretty much a powerhouse on your brain, because yoga does not only affect the hippocampus, it also affects the amygdala. And the amygdala is a region vital for processing emotions. This is what I would say we would typically expect from yoga, that it has an effect on how we deal with our emotions and that it helps us regulate stress. The research findings synthesize indeed it has an effect at the brain level on the region of the amygdala, which supports the idea that yoga and stress management or emotional regulation, that there is a strong association. Yoga does a lot to your brain, and incorporating yoga into your routine can have profound benefits for brain health. As our focus was on the hippocampus and the role of hippocampus in learning, innovation, curiosity, or creativity, I think we can underline the effect of yoga on hippocampal volume. There are 3 different types of exercises, you might say, all have their unique flavors, but interestingly, there's a link between regular exercise in these fields and synaptic plasticity, hippocampal volume, and the survival rate of new neurons forming in the hippocampus. Making these exercises part of your lifestyle can help maintain and even improve brain structure and function, provide a powerful natural tool to support mental health and cognitive resilience throughout your life. So to conclude, we can say to optimize your brain's ability to learn, reap the full potential of your brain if you want to engage in deep learning activities and retain your information, it seems incorporating regular physical activity, either at a moderate pace, walking, jogging, swimming, going into the gym, or practicing yoga, they all help to support overall brain health. It enhances neurogenesis in the hippocampus, which sets the stage for a curious, engaged mind. Aristotle already believed a healthy body is a necessary condition so that your mind can flourish. In his Nicomachean ethics, he highlights physical well-being is crucial for achieving virtues and true happiness. Physical health plays a key role in our intellectual and moral development. And the research findings now, they are kind of consistent what Aristotle believed. Keeping your body fit and doing these types of exercises, it's necessary and very helpful for your brain to unfold its full potential. So when you exercise, you're not just building muscles or burning calories. You're literally growing new brain cells. So you can think about that when you're dragging yourself to the gym, or you meet your gym buddies who hit the gym for months non-stop. it's actually not that of a stupid idea. That's it for today's episode. Stay curious, stay active, keep tuning in to learn how to harness the power of your mind and body, and thank you for listening.